and welcome to the LEC post-game lobby. I'm Sjokz, joined by Ender and Bwipo. 3-0 for Fnatic in the semifinal. You didn't need a game 5 this time.
True.
It was only 3 games. Wow, congratulations. First up, just congratulations about getting to the final, because we've never had like anything of what happened in your lower bracket run. The fact that you have to beat and almost have beaten every single team in playoffs, if you beat them at lines now, the fact that you've played so many games, the fact that you've had 3 game 5s, and now the fact, I think also that you so convincingly 3-0 Rogue. What's gotten into you and this team?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think we're just playing really good. One thing that I think that we lacked is we didn't really help each other play the game. And in game, it's sometimes difficult to help each other play the game because you can come off as pretty toxic or pretty, like, not toxic necessarily, but like very annoying. Because it is annoying, right? Like you're playing the game and someone's like, please don't fight, please don't fight, please don't fight. And we were lacking that. We were just letting people play their game. And often people would like make small mistakes, right? And we would have happy games rather than just clean and not necessarily so clean, but still convincing wins.
Yeah, and I mean, after today, you've played exactly as many games in the postseason as you played in the regular season. And I mean, we speculate, of course, but that can only be a benefit, right? Especially with like you transitioning into jungle, Adam, of course, in the top lane as a rookie. Like it seems like, and today is maybe a little bit of proof of it, like you guys have only like ramped up substantially throughout playoffs.
No, 100%. I think that the amount of games we played gave us a lot of time to look at our weaknesses. Obviously, especially Mad, you know, they're going to have 18 games to check what we were up to compared to them. I think they have 8 games, so we actually have more than double of games played, which means obviously when it comes to stage jitters and everything, we are advantaged, but they have a lot of information on us, so we'll have to make sure that we double check everything we do and make sure we're in a good spot, which is honestly one of the reasons why we've been so successful. I think that we really focus on this. Like we're aware of what the opponents know about us, and I think that's one of the most annoying things about playing against Fnatic is we're not always sure what we're gonna do. So it's pretty hard to figure out what we're thinking.
I mean, good point. I think when it comes to jungle specifically, Inspired was crowned, I think, the rightful regular season MVP right before this, but then. Like, I mean, does that play in your head at all that you're like, just beating the MVP hand?
No, for sure. And he got MVP, so when I locked in Trundle in game 3, I was like, I need to beat him both sides. Like, I need to play Trundle and beat him on Viego's side because I felt pretty convinced that I got the upper hand on him on Viego's side, so I was low-key hoping he was going to lock into Viego there and I would get a nice little both sides win. You
think people are sleeping on Trundle again?
No, I don't think people are sleeping on him at all. Like, Rogue picked him 1-2 twice, right? It's just a matter of, yeah, he's a bit more delicate than people give him credit for, and I think you need to be quite smart in how to use Subjugate, how to use the pillar, and I could tell he was not a very experienced Trundle player, and it shows.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy seeing you, especially, I mean, both sides of the matchup, previous series as well, and just watching you just be completely unleashed in the enemy jungle. We were sort of talking about this a little bit before, but I feel like a lot of people that have been playing the jungle role for a long time are a little bit more tentative than that, you know, because they've gotten bit a lot playing solo queue. They invade, they go super deep to get the kill, and they get collapsed on by their enemy lanes. But you and your teammates are just completely unhinged, running in, killing everything. You want blood, you smell it.
100%. I mean, as a laner, I know when it's like, oh, I really don't want to move. Like, oh, God, you know, like, the moment there's like, your jungler's getting invaded and you're just like, oh, please, no, I don't want to move right now. Like, my wave is bad. And I play on that a lot. Like, for me, I definitely know when the laners don't want to move. And when I have my little 1v1 session. Obviously, also when I'm stronger, I try to leverage it. I think in general, invading is not something that's like, it's necessary to win. So a lot of people don't put priority on it, but it creates a lot of pressure, right? In a situation where your bot lane is equal or stronger, if Viego is fighting me, like in this case, level 3, like my bot lane got a double kill in the meanwhile, right? Like I think they got a double kill or 1 for 0.
Yeah.
Like, I'm giving them information. Like, Viego cannot interfere, right? Like, it's basically a cage match. Me versus Inspired, my bot lane versus their bot lane. I think all of us would sign up for that right now if we had the chance. So I try to make it happen.
Yeah, Fnatic usually winning their cage matches. I'm actually really curious in sort of how you, I know players don't necessarily like choose a style, but how you developed your style, because as a, you know, laner that has played professionally for quite some time now and played with a lot of different styles of junglers, like Brox and Selfmade to me couldn't be like 2 more different players. How do you feel like that experience has informed and developed your own personal style?
I mean, for me, I've always wanted to be someone that can turn it on and turn on the farming, turn off the farming. Like I want to be able to change what my team needs me to do. Like that's why for me, playing Trundle, I feel very comfortable because I think I can surprise people. Because for the most part of the split, I've been farming a lot. I've been a jungler that prioritizes full clearing, gets the gold, and then comes out then comes out with a big power spike. I get my mythic, I do some action, and then I go back to farming. Like I actually farm a lot when I look at the games I play, and my team gives me that space. When I suddenly start playing Trundle and I'm trying to pillar you in the face more than I'm trying to farm, it changes the style a lot. And I think that for me, try to be aware of what I'm doing, and I try to be aware of what my team needs me to do in order to win games or at least play comfortably.
A final question maybe about the series. I saw specifically in this last game, you ended up in a 1v1 quite late into the game with the Gangplank. So is that an example how you actually know perfectly well how this interaction works? And not like as from the Gangplank side, right? I'm not saying that junglers usually don't know, but do you feel like you have an advantage in those specific situations?
Of course, I have a lot of experience playing very unique champions. It's actually quite funny. Like when I play Viego and the opponent plays Gangplank, I feel like I'm the only jungler that can pick up Gangplank and actually do something with the champion. So
that's a really good point.
Yeah, it's happened more once or twice in scrims, and I think a lot of laners are like very surprised. You know, like they see a jungler pick up Viego and they're like, or pick up Gangplank, they're like, this guy's trolling, and then they're like, wait, what? This guy just destroyed me. So in general, I knew I was going to beat him there. I knew that I would all in. I had a window there to all in him. All I needed to make sure is I wasn't outnumbered, and as soon as I looked bot, I was like, oh, well, this guy's dead.
That Viego point is actually such a good point. I'm going to start tracking it now tomorrow.
You should. There's actually a lot of junglers that pick up champions and they're like, insta swap out. They're like, whatever.
Yeah. It's so good. I do want to touch on Rogue for a little bit. I want to pull up this tweet by Inspired. So he tweeted what was really funny to me. He tweeted, "Oh, Niski, I hope you get doing me in your group," which is quite funny. But also, I don't know what's wrong with us, and I think that sums up what we've all been feeling about Rogue so far, right? Because the tricky thing about it is that they've been in winning positions in games and lost them. They've been in losing positions where they're able to claw back, but then not able to clutch it out when it matters the most. And it's hard for me to kind of pinpoint it. Bwipo, what's your read on what's going on with Rogue now?
It's very difficult to say. I think they have individually talented players, and I think that the hardest part about being a team and being successful in a competitive game is being able to be the sum of all parts. And for me, that's the biggest issue that Rogue has, is that when it comes to playoffs, it doesn't feel like they're the sum of all parts ever.
This, by the way, is live. Larson is still sitting. I think that's Isma, but he's still on stage, obviously, pretty distraught. And I mean, what he's thinking about now, obviously, is one, really sucks, can't get back to those finals. Plus, Worlds is factually just around the corner, a couple of weeks away. So, Ender, you know, I know there's a lot of social hub up right now about, first up, Rogue won the games they needed to win to get to Worlds. If you want to be mad at anyone, be mad at the format, but don't be mad at Rogue, right? You need to give them the benefit of the doubt that they have that time to improve, but right now, it just looks dire.
I think there's going to be a lot of learnings that they can take away from this playoffs, because I mean, we saw like last week them like go away from the prio lanes that were so successful for them in the regular season. Today, first 2 games, like they went all in on like prio lanes, top bot lane especially, and didn't quite work for them. So I feel like for this team, we know, as you said, players individually exceptionally talented. I do feel like a bit of a weakness for them is when it comes to like their approach, especially in draft. It seems like often it's about individual matchups a lot of the time. And I think they prioritize those things. And then you see in the game, the team play start to fall apart a little bit, right? Like Larson couldn't have a huge impact on the map in their series today when their side lanes desperately needed help, right? They have winning matchups on their own, but the second a team like Fnatic or Mad Lions take fights to you, all of a sudden that starts to fall apart. That's something they're going to have to improve on moving into Worlds. But I will also say, they have maybe the blessing of going through play-ins as 3rd seed. Like, legitimately, take some time, work on it. Don't pull a Mad Lions and get eliminated like last year. But legitimately, I feel like this is a team that after this playoffs, they need that warm-up going into Worlds.
100%. I think the biggest issue they have is that they have, and I'm going to do, like, I don't like doing this coaching a little bit, but they're going to Worlds with us, so why not? My perspective is they have terrible habits, like terrible. Like a lot of their players have terrible habits. We call out that they're going to do it. They've been doing it for years. They're still doing it. We're still killing them. It's still working out. And this is one thing that they really need to fix, in my opinion. And the other thing is
Bwipo, examples, please.
Examples? I don't want to go too much into examples because I don't want to help them too much.
Then he's doing the research for the other teams.
Okay.
So I don't
LPL don't need any more help.
That's true.
for me, like a big example of something that as a team, I think they do awfully is they give you so much breathing room until the next objective. Like, you get time to set up, you get time to look for picks, you get time to do stuff, and they don't force really hard when they have a man advantage. They just give you breathing room. And you don't get to do that and get away with it unless you're playing like super watertight. And like I mentioned, their habits are pretty bad, which means they're not watertight. And then what ends up happening is you get time, you get picks. Usually that's the recipe for a comeback.
So I feel like so much of the conversation, because you look at it, Rogue super successful in the regular season, and this is like spanning now like 2 years almost, and faltering when it comes to the playoffs time, and it's somewhat hard to speculate to the reason why. But one of the things that I believe is, like, of course, other teams improve so much over the course, and you talk about bad habits. Do you think that it's a combination of like learning the bad habits that Rogue make? Because you can't argue that Rogue are not a phenomenal best of one team. Like, regular season, they're absolutely crushing it.
I mean, I think in best of one, they're really good at getting ahead. And then when you get ahead, these habits are hard. Like, it's hard to throw a game when you're 9K gold ahead, right?
Yeah.
When you're 6K gold ahead.
You guys can do it.
I mean, we managed, Rogue's managed. No doubt some of the, like, you need to be, a good team can manage always. That one hurt.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. Point I was trying to make, they get really big gold leads. The habits don't shine through because of the gold leads. Yeah. You don't realize until you have to actually play out multiple games. You don't get big gold leads. You have to play well as a team. And like, I think the combination of the fact that they will wait until the dragon spawns to fight. Like, for example, the last game we played, when you're behind and you're playing a scaling comp, that's necessary, right? But in the second game, I feel like we got a lot of time to look for picks. We never really got punished, and there were some big fights. And then they had the Rizal where Hans got left behind. That one was, I mean, that was just unfortunate, right? But that's an idea. That's what I would like to see more from them, right? Like, that was not, there wasn't an objective there. It was just, this guy's top, we have Rizal, let's make a pick, let's go on him right now. That's like the aggression that, it happens from the game state, right? Like, the game is in a situation where if Nisqy pushes top, we should punish him because we have mid priority, right? This is the type of calls you want to see when you're ahead and you want to make an action happen. This is what you see from G2, this is what you see from Mad Lions, this is what you hopefully see from Fnatic. And that's our top 3 right now, and I was happy to see that. And I mean, I was very happy to see that because Hans didn't get picked up, but it's reassuring to see that they at least have the minerals to make that happen.
On the upside, though, didn't pause when Hans was left out of the Rizals. So
yeah, I mean,
maybe they should have.
I have a great experience with Rizals now after many games of getting Rizals.
yeah, I did see that you guys learned.
Oh yeah, I made sure I was in it. I clicked on it and I whoop, hands off, and I made it. Great. But yeah, he was definitely outside of the Rizals, and I called it beforehand. He will not make it.
Yeah.
I was sure.
You was sure.
My Rise experience paying off.
Yeah, you've learned the Rise studies. I'm glad you're playing ball here. Sorry, I'm tossing you some curveballs. The final thing I want to touch on is something you mentioned actually before we sat down. Was, you know, in the whole discussion of the teams we're sending to Worlds and how they got there. And you called out the fact that LPL has one of the most gruesome gauntlets ever to make it to Worlds. And then it was like an aha moment for me, like, well, of course, then all the teams that are going to be there from the LPL are going to be great because they basically do what you did in the lower bracket. All of the teams do it. I don't know where I'm getting at because I'm kind of dissing our own format in that regard, but...
I mean, I think it's really interesting. I believe even if you make finals, you have a chance to drop out, which is ridiculous, right? Like, to me, at least, in our current format, like, it's never really been. When you make finals in summer, like, you're almost guaranteed to go to Worlds, unless your summer split was like, or your spring split was like abysmal, you know? Yeah. Shout out to Upset in 2018, I believe. Yeah, just want to throw this out there. No, but basically making summer and making finals in summer, it was a ticket to Worlds most of the time, or you had like a really good spot in the gauntlet. And even though that's still true in China, it's crazy that like so many teams have yet to play. Like, I think there's like 5 or 6 teams still that have to play in LPL, and it's like finals weekend now.
It's crazy, yeah. Like, and hey, I love that you brought this up because, by the way, going to be doing some LPL next week. I'll be the analyst desk for finals, casting some gauntlets. So if you want to watch the gruesome bracket, as you described it, it'll be a bloodbath.
Lovely. So I don't want to keep Bwipo too long anymore because you've got a final to get to tomorrow. But you've now won 4 best-of-5 series in a row. You're the only team to win this many best-of-5s ever, this many series in the LEC playoffs. Yeah, it's nuts. I told you before, Ender, you were kind of gasping about it, right? Just a second ago.
You didn't even get double elimination. No. Like, we're actually going into a final where neither team has lost a series in playoffs, which is pretty sweet. Because that's for sure never happened before. Yeah.
And for Bwipo, we were talking about it before too, but Fnatic and you in that regard haven't won the title since 2018. And you were saying, I got subbed out, so it doesn't really count.
Yeah, the last title we won was in 2018 summer. And, I got subbed out after the first game, and then my team won a quick 3-0 without me. So I was pretty sad about that. I wanted to contribute more, and I'm really looking forward to make this one count.
If you guys want to watch a cool piece of content, there's tons from LEC, but there's specifically a piece that was shot with Bwipo last week. It's up on the YouTube channel, and I think once we have an hour or so, you know, we can talk about the fact this is actually nuts. You get subbed out, they win, you get to Worlds Finals. You probably think like the world is coming down on you after that finals. Fast forward to now, you get swapped into the jungle, you make it to the finals. Dude, there's a Lifetime movie just there.
I mean, it's nice. It's nice that people trust me. They trust me all the way. I feel very grateful for the opportunities I had, and ultimately for me, I'm very grateful to the organization and the players I've played with so far. I think that I've been nothing but blessed with the opportunities I've gotten, and whilst I do have the confidence to say that I made the most out of it, at least what I'm capable of, I intend to do more still.
Yeah, because there's still like mid lane support.
Support's actually the only role I wouldn't play. I don't think I have great insight on support at all. Like,
I think you'd be a crazy. You'd be like Hilly basically. You've got a Hilly, so
no,
it's fine.
I don't think I would be actually. I think as a support player, it's like the insight he has on the map and the insights he has when playing the game. This is it's honestly you don't get to to appreciate it.
Can you convince him to come on PGL once? Because he's always like
I've tried. I tried last time.
Yeah,
I always try. I tried to convince him last time, but for the thing about Hilly is it's actually ridiculous the insight he has in the game. It's not human for a support player in the matchups that he's playing to show up mid 2v2 consistently at the right timings without bleeding bot lane like crazy, right? Huge props to Upset and Hilly for that, right? Like people don't realize it. We're blind picking Rakan, and our Rakan is flashing on people mid and not losing lane. Like they're not getting smashed, right? Like it's crazy. The insight that he has to be there at the right time consistently. It's not something that you can really find in players, and I don't think, for example, stuff like this, these small things, is something that I would be able to accomplish without crazy amount of practice. And the small things is really where the difference between a support like Hylissang and the rest of the league, for me at least, start to show, and that's why for me he's 100% the best support in the league, maybe even the world.
Oof. Well, you can't train that exactly, right? That is just gut feeling. So let's talk about tomorrow then against maybe the other or the best support in the league, Kaiser. It's up in the air. We'll see. Off versus the Mad Lions. I think this is just a super exciting matchup. I feel like you guys are stylistically kind of similar in some regards. I think especially the willingness for aggression, but also your ability to make the level-headed plays in the mid game, be it from a deficit or ahead. Am I correct in that?
I think they play as a team super well. I think that's the most impressive thing about the Mad Lions. It has been for years now. I think they're a unit, like full unit, and they will always like they're together from the start until the finish. For example, I think the difference between us and Mad Lions is that we rely more on timings, right? Like this is a good timer for me to make a play. This is a good timer for Niski to make a play. Mad Lions, it feels like they know which timers before the game is played, right? I think that's the biggest difference that I can see between us and the Mad Lions, and it's very impressive to see. I think that their coaching staff has done a phenomenal job at integrating this into their players, and their players have done a phenomenal job of making that happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at tomorrow and 2 kills a minute, 3 kills a minute, just like complete bloodbath on the Rift, because you guys are, I mean, especially like Mad Lions against Rogue, like super aggressive early games. I feel like you're teams that always are looking to find that fight, you know? Like today it seemed like you guys were kind of like, let's just draft a bunch of champions that can fly across the screen and start fights whenever we want to, and it works wonderfully because you see those openings and you absolutely take them. And I also like, I wasn't even eyeing mid lane as being like the most insane matchup, but after Niski's performance today, Niski versus Humanoid, both of them playing like the Rise, these roaming champions, like it feels to me like almost how I would view a like Fnatic G2 in the past, where like we had like roaming mid lane champions and both teams were just like complete warlords going for fights all the time. That's the vibes I'm getting in terms of style of the teams in a way.
I could see that.
Please don't be a 3-0. Please don't be a 3. I mean, you probably want it for your side. I understand it, but you know, from us, we
I feel like 5 games is more fun to play.
Hilly brought up a really good point. He likes game 5 because it means we've won at least 2 games. And it's like, oh, he has a point. He has a really good point there.
Love it. Regardless, tomorrow we'll have the LEC warm-up from 11 a.m. There's going to be so much content. There's going to be, did you know there's Chat Plays Scuttlecrab? You remember Twitch Plays Pokemon?
Holy, that sounds
That's
insane.
fun. You should actually probably like reviewing VODs, but it'll be fun. Yeah. There's also a lot of content. I don't think Ocelot will be in his hot tub this time with his trophies.
I'm hot tub of tears.
We don't know
maybe?
this.
I don't know.
Oh, Kevin, do you know something I don't? Oh, he knows something.
Ooh,
Can't be revealed.
interesting.
Anyway, you're just going to have to watch. Okay, well, that will be all from us here tonight. First up, thank you so much, Ender, and thank you, Bwipo. The best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
It's going to be awesome. And you can also watch the LCS semifinal right now between 100 Thieves and Cloud9. We'll be back tomorrow for the LEC Summer Finals between Mad Lions and Fnatic. You do not want to miss it.
It's Cloud9 plays Scuttle Crab.
They have a pretty bad record. They have a pretty bad record against the ground. I don't know.
Welcome to Berlin, Germany for the LEC Finals weekend. Fnatic, they fought their way back through the lower bracket, but two series still remain on the road towards the LEC title. Tonight, they go up against Rogue, who have a lot to prove.
Where's the Black Shield? What options does he have? He's now used it on Hansama, but it doesn't matter. All the physical damage just shredding him down. Maybe going to look for the dive here on Hansama. Incredibly low. Black Shield is going to do some work, but it's not going to stop Nisqy from Realm warping in. Hansama now going to be in trouble, trying to backstep so he doesn't get hit by the extended range of the E. But now, Bwipo locked up under the tower. The chain CC not quite enough to finish the job. They should be able to grab two quick and easy kills here. Fnatic never gave them away back into this game one with absolute dominance and a 15K gold lead. Fnatic will take game one in this semifinal. Nisqy immediately going to go throw down the ultimate. Larson, could he just get killed? Could he get picked up in the exchange? Nisqy, it does get taken. No, he takes, he burns. Oh, here we go.
Bwipo, now we see the collapse.
Up into Nisqy, the immediate ult coming out, but it's a clean turn back. Maybe not enough for Larson, though, as he goes golden. Meanwhile, on the backside, Hansama is already dead. The fight hasn't even started. Rogue get one back in return, but Nisqy still stepping forward, goes golden. 2.5 seconds of time to buy, and Hylissang is there right on time. Nisqy standing strong. Inspire doesn't have the damage to finish the job. Fnatic finding a fight yet again. And when a push came to shove, Fnatic took the game.
And hasn't based yet. There's a TP behind, no flashes on all of them.
The Fnatic special. Now it's going to be Adam in the midst of the team, but that's the double TP going in. Nisqy going to go for the bomb stun. The Thresh is just too squishy. There's nothing he can do. And now it's Hansama who's going to be in trouble. He's got no mana. He's got no HP. He's got no life. See what they want to go for. Bwipo throwing down the pillar. They maybe caught them in the pinch. Nisqy goes gold and buys a brief moment. Upset. So much damage coming in, and it's immediately Adam into the backside. They're just shredding through Rogue. But Nisqy now on the backside. Fnatic collapsing as a unit. It's going to be a bloodbath. Larson has to run for the hills, but no one else will survive. Fnatic obliterating Rogue in the last few exchanges. It's absolute dominance.
And Fnatic dominate Rogue. They will secure themselves a spot in the final.
I'm free!